Hello, Shrewdness fans. Welcome to the show tonight. I'm Prue, joined by Chiz and Dex. Three amigos are back for another week.
Oh, you used Amigo on Cinco de Mayo.
I see what you did there.
Anyway, welcome to the show. We have a full slate tonight to talk about. We're going to start out kind of recapping and semi-analyzing the Chiefs 2026 draft. We will give you a quick update on some Royals news. They are looking like a real baseball team here lately.
Yeah, what happened there? We'll talk about that.
Chiz has a surprise quiz for Dex and me tonight.
Some quiz, some trivia. We're going to have a little fun at the end of the show tonight.
That's
quiz.
always a fun time.
Watch me make a fool out of Dex and Prue. It's going to be great.
Always fun to edit that part of the show.
I know Prue and I'll sound good.
What else are we talking about tonight, guys?
Yeah, that's the big stuff. It's a little bit of a slow week. We're going to start bringing in some guests. So if you want to be a guest on the Shrewdness and have some sports knowledge,
it doesn't take much, people.
Doesn't take much, obviously. If you listen to the show, you know that. So
enjoy what you're talking about and be passionate about
advertising. That's right. Let us know, because in the slow season here, we're about to be just baseball. We will talk a little bit about NBA, NHL playoffs as those get to come to a head. The early rounds right now.
I would say that we're looking for knowledgeable listeners that know something about the NBA and NHL, because we definitely have you on the show to talk about that.
That'd be great.
I do have a guest lined up for the World Cup.
We'll get into
that here in about 3 more weeks or so.
USA is supposed to win that, right?
They're supposed to participate. For sure.
They're going to kick the ball some.
They're going to, yeah. They'll be on the field.
Right.
Made it.
All right, let's roll into our first topic of the night. Chiz, I'm going to throw it to you, and why don't you go through the Chiefs draft picks, and we'll comment on their latest team members here.
Absolutely. So I'm going to just talk. I want to go list who they got first, and then we'll dive into them. Okay. So they had 2 first-round picks. The first round, the 6th overall pick, they took Mansour Delane, cornerback from LSU. Then in the 29th pick of the first round, they took Peter Woods, defensive tackle from Clemson. In the second round, the 8th pick in the second round, they took edge rusher Mason Thomas from Oklahoma. Didn't have a third-round pick. And then the 4th round...
Didn't need one.
Then in the 4th round, the 9th overall in the 4th round, they took Jaden Kennedy, safety from Oregon. 5th round, 21st pick. 21st. Is that a...
The 21st one that's one of the better ones. Like, many people look for the 21st pick in that round. The 21st, awesome.
So the 21st pick, I was actually sedated earlier today. Okay, so at the 21st pick in the 5th round, the Chiefs selected Emmett Johnson, running back for Nebraska.
Great
then
pick.
15 picks. What the hell is wrong with 15 picks later. I sound like Jamal Charles when he was making that pick for the Chiefs a few years back. Oh, God. With the 36th pick in the 5th round, the Chiefs took wide receiver Cyrus Allen from Cincinnati, and then didn't have a 6th-round pick because they didn't need it. And then in the 7th round, 33rd pick in that round, they took Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback from LSU. So they started with an LSU boy, ended with an LSU boy. So we got a very interesting draft here, because what you can tell from this draft is the Chiefs were really interested in making the defense better, right? That was the first thing that we noticed for sure. And anything they didn't use towards making the defense better, which wasn't until late in the draft, they were like, hey, let's see if we could find some sneaky picks that could help Mahomes out on offense, right? So let's break it down. So they started out with the very first pick of the draft. Some people, we talked about this last week some, but they traded up because they really wanted to make sure that they got this guy. He was the number 1 cornerback on almost everyone's board, Mansour Delane. What do we think about Mansour Delane? Let me give you a little bit about him. He had the 3rd lowest completion percentage against him in college last year. But to be fair to him, people just didn't throw his way. Like, he was one of those guys that, like, you know, when he was on that side of the field, the teams were like, all right, we're just not going to go over there. We're going to throw to the other side, and then we're going to run it. And, you know, so he was definitely a shutdown guy. He's a shutdown guy in the SEC, which is incredibly competitive every year. Has great wide receivers, great quarterbacks coming out of it. Some people thought this was a little early, maybe. They could have gotten him a little later. But how do we feel about Mansour Delane overall, Dex?
I like it, and as we said last week, he fills a gaping hole because we got rid of all of our corners.
Yeah.
They all went to the Rams and elsewhere.
Right.
And there wasn't really anybody coming in. So when you looked at his stats, it's exactly what you said, Chiz, is that his numbers don't look all that great because he took half the field away. Whoever he was on, I think they tried him the first game, and after 3 passes defense, I think a pick, that was it. That was kind of the season, and no one else really messed with him. And it's not like he didn't play good competition in the SEC. I mean, they're every single week you got the best of the best. One of the top conferences in football. They traded up, and I was just looking, the reason why. So based on the Chiefs pre-draft studies, so this comes from The Athletic. They always put some major thought in there, so I always kind of believe what they say a little bit more in other places. But they believe the Washington Commanders had a small chance of taking Delane at 7, and then the Saints probably would have taken him at 8 if they didn't. So they had the teams ahead of them at 7 and 8 when they were picking 9th. They didn't think he would come to him.
Yep.
So
that makes sense.
With those reasons, I'm like, well, that does make sense then. If you don't think he's going to – 2 teams have a chance of taking him. If that's your guy and he's the top on the board, and again, as I referenced last week, apparently, again, I wasn't in the Chiefs draft room,
right?
But people that I believe said that he was top 5 on the draft board.
Yeah.
So when it came up and 6 was available to trade up, they did. I mean, screw that 3rd-round pick. We don't need it. And here we are. So now you have the guy you thought was the best player on the board. And I believe in him, man. We seem to draft pretty well at cornerback. If you look at our recent track record, right? Can you really go wrong? Like, you guys don't know how to draft cornerbacks.
Yeah.
So we don't have to re-sign them. We know how to draft them.
So I haven't seen a whole lot yet on Mansour, but from what I've seen, I think he may earn himself a Surtain status here in a couple years, or a McDuffie status. Like, we use that as a whatever that would be. A verb. That someone got Surtained.
Right. You got Surtained, right?
And
that's right.
I think in a year or 2 we might be saying that about Delane. Somebody got Delaned.
The island of Revis, right? Yeah. Kind of the same.
That's guys that are, like you were saying, Dex, take away half the field, and it limits what teams can do offensively against you.
Yeah. It makes it easier on defense.
For sure it does.
I think 100% they went up and they saw that they had an opportunity to go grab what they considered a top 5 draft pick.
Yeah.
And it was like, we're going all in. Brett Beach is like, I'm very aggressive, unapologetically during the draft. I want to go get my guy, and he was one of my guys. So
but I like that. Right. Otherwise, you're settling in round 1 right off the bat.
Yeah.
And not to say we went through last week. I mean, there's a ton of draft talent up there. We like Ruben Bain sliding. We like quite a few of the picks that went a little later. But again, if this is your top guy and you can go get him, and we talked about, can you remember your team's favorite 3rd-round pick for the last few years? Who cares, man?
Yeah.
Throw it away. I mean, can you get some gold? You sure can, Jerry. You can strike gold, but
you can.
You also get a lot of coal.
That's right.
It never pans out, never does anything. So go get a guy who you thinks a blue chipper that's going to be on your team for a long time. All-pro talent. Let's go. I like it.
Yeah,
the talent level is like a Pareto chart. It starts super high and then it drops down quickly. Right. It's not a straight line in talent drop. So you go get a top 5 pick. The Chiefs, I think you made this point a couple weeks ago, Chiz, the Chiefs don't have the luxury of a top 5 pick very often, right? They had a bad year.
This is kind of it probably for hopefully another chunk of years.
Yeah.
So they did go aggressive. They're like, if we're in this kind of early draft position that we're not used to being in, let's go make the most out of it. So,
and he's of course you would expect this, but as a top 10 pick, but he's slotted to start right cornerback right now. The other cornerback is slated right now, at least in most depth charts, to be Noel Williams. I don't know if you guys remember him, but he is supposed to be the other corner to start the season. But we'll see, obviously, how that plays out. So I think everyone agreed he was he was incredibly talented. This guy who they got later. So the guy they got later in the first round, if you look at last year, Peter Woods, had he gone out, was they were saying he was going to be a top 10 draft pick. He was one of the few guys that, I mean, he was like a 5-star recruit in high school, super stud. Everyone wanted him. Went to Clemson. Right. He was actually one of the few guys that stayed another year in college, and his stock dropped. He did not have as good of a year.
Yeah.
He did not have, all of his metrics kind of went down, and that was concerning to a lot of people. But obviously there's talent here, and he dropped all the way to 29. And if there's one thing we know about the Chiefs is there's a certain guy in the middle of the field that seems to get double and triple teamed a lot for the Chiefs named Chris Jones.
Yep.
And he ain't getting any younger. And he needs some help. And so, at a minimum, I feel like this guy's a space eater. But Prue, what do you think about Peter Woods?
He's a beast for sure. He's 6'2", which is I'd really like a defensive tackle to be a little bit taller than that. But 300 pounds. They said his arms are like short for a defensive tackle.
So like twice as long as my arm.
Right. Only twice as long as yours, Chiz. So they're like, I forget the dimensions. It's something like 30 and a quarter, and you want your 32-inch or something for a defensive tackle. Is
pipsqueaky is.
But this is similar to like Josh Simmons last year, right? He was hurt, or there were some concerns that he wasn't quite the right fit and whatever, and he just kept sliding.
Right.
And the Chiefs seem to like welcome that. They're like, this is, personality wise, character wise, this guy's who we want on our team.
Yeah.
Talent is all, relative in college. It's how you develop the player and
that's right.
That kind of thing. It's a great fit, I think. Having Chris Jones to learn from for a year.
Right. Like it's gotta be a dream for him.
And they've added Tonga as well. So that's two experienced defensive tackles that are both very capable. This guy will slide into the third spot, most likely.
That's exactly right, Drew. Most people have him not starting. They got Tonga and Jones starting, and then him spelling either or of them in a rotation.
Which would probably be good, because when I've seen big fat guys in the middle on other teams, it's nice when you have a rotation.
Yes.
They all need to be fresh when they're in.
That's right.
You have run-stopping tackles, and I think he's more of a pass-rushing defensive tackle. So you're adding a little bit to complement Chris Jones on those passing downs. They can get to third and long, you're going to unleash, a monster right there in the middle along with Chris Jones.
That's right.
That's what some of the beat guys were saying, is that it wasn't that he was necessarily bad last year. So the main thing was that, as you mentioned, he's more of a pass rushing defensive tackle, which is fantastic. But last year, to be on the team and what they needed at the time, he was a run stopping D tackle. That's what they need him to focus on. They didn't want him to get into the backfield as much. They want him to plug the line and block holes.
Yeah.
Right.
So he did that, but his stats suffered as a result. So he went from 8.5 tackles for a loss to 3.5. That's substantial.
Yeah. Yeah.
But understand the why behind it. You're like, oh. So they asked him to be different, and he was?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Because everything else is pretty consistent. He had 28 tackles the year before and 30 tackles last year.
Yeah.
He actually had more tackles. And that also makes sense, because instead of running past a potential running back, you're stopping him.
That's right.
I think consider and look at the whole context. I think it's a really good pick, and I think it's going to be nice, especially because we don't have to count on him to start right away. He can sit back and learn, and then I think year 2, we're going to see him in the lineup being really, really productive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll still rotate in plenty, I think. And
for sure.
They'll find key downs to use him on and stuff like that. But, yeah, it's great to have somebody to learn from the first half of the season before you earn your stripes and contribute more often.
I remember a defensive tackle for the Chiefs back in the day, Samoan, who had small arms. Do you guys remember who I'm talking about? I'm just blanking his name.
No, Don Taripo.
No, earlier.
The guy was jokingly
Dan Salimua.
Dan Salimua. That's who it was. Dan Salimua. He had. You were close. He had short arms, and he did just fine.
A lot of T-Rexes do well in the NFL,
right?
They're like his arms are short, but he has very quick hands, and it's the quick hands that shed tackles and all that. So. Or shed blocks, not shed tackles.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So he'll be great.
I think he's a really good piece of the puzzle for them, given that they have kind of had a rotating door of guys who have been okay at D tackle, but never it's always been Chris Jones and some dude who's just like league replacement, right? Maybe shines every now and again, but like very rarely. So. They really need somebody to step up, and I think they took it seriously getting Tonga and then obviously drafting Woods, so they've got a lot more depth at that spot now. So then the defensive train did not stop in the third round or in the second round. They said, "Hey, you know what else we don't have? We're not getting enough sacks right now. Chris Jones sack totals down. Got very few from the linebacking crew that are really pass rushing. You got George Karlaftis, who's been up and down, and he looks like he's going to break through and become a real pass rusher, but then he flattens out for a while.
Yeah, he gets more pressures than sacks.
He gets a lot of pressures, and he's a motor guy, so he's more of a guy that he has skill, obviously, but more motor than anything. So they went and got a guy who, I got to say, my Oklahoma friends were all texting me after they got this guy, Mason Thomas, and they were like, dude, this guy's a stud. And I was like, really? And they're like, no, he is awesome. So he is
No, is awesome.
Yes, he's awesome. I was like, I don't know, really? And they're like, yeah, now here's the knock on him. He is undersized, if you will.
Yep.
So
short arms, though, I just want to make sure he's got short arms.
He might have short arms, but he is 6'2", 241. Okay,
he doesn't weigh as much as most of our linebackers.
No, he doesn't. So that is like a small edge guy, and he did have some injuries in college, so that was the thing that kind of limited him. But when he was on the field, he was phenomenal. Yeah. And it seems to me like they got this guy to be a pass rush specialist. So I don't think he is going to be in there on first and second down. I think he's a guy that's going to come in on third down and just run around a tackle. But I don't know. How do you guys see it?
I like specialists, and the thing I like about this guy even more is that I love locker room guys. I think it brings the whole team up when you don't have a me player and you have a team player. And the thing they put on him for his strength, admittedly not a talker, but beloved by teammates, staff said he's coachable and a role model.
Yep.
Program. So I love reading stuff like that because
maybe he'll spend some time with Rashee Rice. Maybe that'll.
We have some projects for you. Bring in here to have some in-house counsel.
Oh, we don't want you to actually play football. We just
we
want you to keep the rest of our team out of jail this year.
That's right.
That would be helpful. That'd be helpful.
All right.
So, apparently he's undersized, like we just mentioned. But then again, if you're just pass rushing, as long as you can get around the big fat guys on the line, I don't really care.
There's another ex-chief. I don't know if you guys remember this guy, but another ex-chief that rushed the passer a lot, whose playing weight was between 243 and 247 pounds.
Oh, wow. Was his last name Thomas as well?
His last name was Thomas. I don't think they're related.
Huh.
Well, maybe.
But he was a pass rushing linebacker.
That's interesting.
That played at the same weight and was an inch taller than our friend R. Mason here. So
in the old days, Drew, I'd get off my lawn top. Would you have a lemonade on the front porch and your rocker?
Right. And they used to talk about Derek Thomas not being able to be as good of a run stopper, but he played all four all 4 downs, or all 3 downs.
Amazingly, he stopped lots of runs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. So
you take away the run when you're killing quarterbacks and losing 8 yards.
Exactly.
So
I mean, I think he's an interesting pick. I think he's an exciting pick. I think he's one that, we probably need in the arsenal because we don't have a true guy. I mean, he had 9 sacks in 10 games last year at the college level at OU in the SEC.
I've seen the comps to D Ford is what I've heard.
Let's hope he can line up on sides. Let's hope he can line up on sides.
Well, so I hope he's better than D Ford. Let me say that. But
D Ford wasn't bad though, aside from that horrendous game.
But the point they were making in making that comp is that he's a speed rusher, and the Chiefs haven't necessarily drafted speed rushers. They've always relied on some power rushers.
That's true.
Mike Danas and the George Karloftises and those kind of guys. I guess Tom Bahali is maybe the closest thing we've had recently to a speed rusher, but but I think he brings a little different look to the Chiefs' defense, I think.
And you're right. The philosophy has been more to power rushing with this defense and kind of how we do stuff. But I think he's interesting. He's not going to have to start. It looks like Ashton Gillotte. It's Gillotte, right?
Gelati.
Who knows?
Gelato. Gelato.
I love gelato. Give me some sherbet.
Gelati.
Best American hit.
Gillette.
If you say it enough different ways, I can edit out all the other ones.
Right.
One of them is going to be right.
Pick the right one, Prue. So George Karlaftis on one end, Ashton G on the other end, and then they are predicting FAU to get a little more playing time.
Come on.
FAU to get a little more playing time. So FAU and Mason Thomas to be kind of the guys that are backing up and situationally in there.
Speed rushing type guys.
Speed rushing.
Let's talk about our new nickel corner.
So
one last note on his real name. His real first name is R, the letter R. It doesn't stand for anything.
What?
So is his middle name Mason?
Yes.
R. Mason. I don't know. It sounds like a lawyer.
Sounds
I like
his
R. Mason Thomas.
Right.
Typo.
I like it.
When Clark Hunt called him, he's like, R. Mason? This is Clark Hunt from the
He did. He went
Chiefs. Yeah. And somebody afterwards was like, his legit birth name is R. Mason.
I'm telling you, it sounds like a Dallas attorney to me.
Yeah.
Have you been in a car accident with an 18-wheeler? Call R. Mason Thomas. Right?
Hey, it worked. I mean, he can be on the next Key and Peele when they're announcing all the players.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's talk about Jaden Kennedy.
Jaden Kennedy from Oregon. So a lot of people think this guy was the first stretch they made. They thought he was a little bit early, but Spags likes him, and he's probably going to be a nickel guy. So, he's not going to be a guy you put on the corner and have him hold his own every time. So what do you guys think about Kennedy?
So he's a 5'10", 180-pound corner.
Yeah.
4.47. Nothing wrong with that. I was talking to a humongous Oregon fan just last week, and I asked him about this guy because I wanted to get the inside deets. He's like, Kennedy went to the Chiefs, huh? I don't even know if he started for Oregon. I'm like, that's new. It's like, yeah, it was his first year there. I mean, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he played plenty. But it wasn't good that he didn't immediately say, that's a stud.
I love Kennedy.
R. Thomas. I mean,
right?
R. Mason. That's different. So he came from Ole Miss, and he's a transfer to Oregon last year. He is super athletic, but apparently his gig is that he can miss. He can take some – he needs to work on some technique, apparently. And he's not huge. He misses tackles.
Oh, that's good. So he's small. He doesn't tackle.
At least he's fast. I mean, one of his strengths, it even says, not afraid to compete as a tackler.
Well, that's good.
Then on weaknesses, lacks desired frame, build, mass, and arm length, which hurts in tackling. questionable finishing strength, especially when tackling. Technique is all over. So I find it funny how his strength is not afraid to compete.
So it's basically, I try hard is basically
yes, that's exactly my point with him. So
this says he started 13 games. 13 starts in 15 games last year.
All right.
11 starts in 12 games the year before at Mississippi.
Yeah, I mean, he's talented. It's not that was not the issue with him. It was, and another highlight that was good. So for Oregon, who played a lot of good teams, obviously in the Big Ten, he didn't allow a completion of more than 11 yards in 2025.
Okay.
So he wasn't getting.
I'm in on that.
6 pass breakups, which I think is pretty decent. 2
That's
interceptions, forced fumble, 39 tackles last year.
So he's a little bit of a stretch. I think we'd agree at this spot, but
I think so. I think the positive that I saw that was one of the reasons the Chiefs drafted him supposedly was his versatility.
Yes,
and that he can line up outside, he can line up as a nickel corner, and he can line up as a safety. And we lost a lot of our secondary, and we have lost a lot of our secondary the last couple of years due to injuries. So if nothing else, he'll be able to fill in multiple places if we do have guys go down for a while.
And it doesn't look like he gets beat deep, which I like that as well.
That's nice.
A conference, a division where there's going to be some deep threats.
Some big arms. There's some big arms in the conference now, right?
We got a lot of
guys that like to trust it.
Get in the way enough where everybody else can come tackle him for him if he misses.
That's right.
Yeah.
That would be
but before we get off of corners, I will say a little inside information here. Because this is what you get on the Shrewdness.
Yes.
My son was at Target a couple weeks ago. I'm not even kidding. He was at Target and he ran into L'Jarius Sneed. L'Jarius Sneed. And it's actually him. I got a photo of him. And L'Jarius Sneed says that he is highly interested in returning to the Chiefs. So he said they're trying to work something out. I think L'Jarius Sneed would be a great addition, especially if you're not counting on him to, be the. I know he had a bad year last year. He's 29, but if you're looking for depth in the secondary, you could do a heck of a lot worse than L'Jarius Sneed. I feel like, and he's a guy that we know,
and more importantly, that Spags knows.
Spags loves. So who knows? So that kind of closed out the secondary. Then we decided that we're actually going to spend a little time on the offense, which Patrick Mahomes was like, what the hell's going on? Why are we not drafting anybody on my side of the ball? Like, can we get a little bit of offense here?
To be honest, there's been a lot of drafting on the offensive side of the ball the past couple drafts.
There has.
G. Rice, Xavier Worthy, just right off the top of my head. I mean, those are early round picks.
Simmons and Suamatia and I mean,
so we've put some effort.
We
there.
We definitely have made the effort.
I just don't think the draft was strong this year, as we talked about last couple of weeks. This was a defense draft, and I think they took advantage of that and got the talent where it was at.
Right. I think you're right. And they didn't see anybody who they were just absolutely in love with early in the draft on offense, and that's probably a good thing. So they waited until the 5th round to take Emmett Johnson, number 161 overall from Nebraska. I'll tell you, I heard some comparisons that Andy Reid made today, and Andy Reid had a lot of favorable comparisons. This guy, he said he had a lot of great lateral movement, similar to Shady, the real Slim Shady. If you remember LaShawn McCoy, he said he moved a lot laterally like LaShawn McCoy. I love the fact that they got this guy as the guy who can come in as a backup. He led the Big Ten in rushing, which ain't nothing to sneeze at. So
I didn't realize he led the Big Ten, but there it is. That's exactly what it says. 1451 became the first running back in Nebraska history to record 100-yard plus both rushing and receiving.
Game. So the guy's got mitts.
He's got Christian McCaffrey.
We got him in the 5th round. We got Christian McCaffrey in the 5th round.
I mean, that's such draft value that people don't talk about.
Right? So he
caught 46 passes last year.
I mean, 46 passes in college when you're only playing 12 games is a lot of passes. So I think that average, I'm not good at public math, but that's about 4 catches a game for a running back, which is pretty good. I think he's going to start out as a third down kind of back. He's going to spell our newly acquired Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker. But, hey, you can never have too many running backs in the NFL, and we have
Kenneth Walker is not
none.
His strong suit is not catching the ball either. Let's be honest.
No, it's not.
We didn't give him to be our third down, catch the ball in the backfield back.
Right.
So I think now having a couple different options back there to compete for that job, like viable competition, is pretty nice.
That's right.
And I just noticed he's a Minneapolis boy.
Is he really?
Holy
he's a Minneapolis guy?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw him too. He's one of these guys too that I loved his reaction when he was drafted. He is he's just a kid. You're like, yes, I want to root for this kid big time. And so he's going to be easy to root for. I mean, we've been lucky. Pacheco was easy to root for. He was an easy to root for running back. Yeah. I hope he does well in his next role, his next team. But we needed help at running back, and we went out and we addressed it in a big way. Kenneth Walker and Emmett Johnson, pretty exciting. I'm kind of excited to see the run game this year.
I am too. I think it's going to be pretty good.
Very exciting thing. This guy knows how to get to the end zone. He had 15 touchdowns last year too, so he has a nose for it. Then we also beefed up. This is one of my favorite picks of the draft. The wide receiver out of Cincinnati, Cyrus Allen. This guy is fiery as all get out. Like he thinks he is the best receiver in the draft, and he is like going to show everyone he is the best receiver. He's like one of these guys that's like, no, I'm going to prove it. I'm like, sweet. Prove it, man.
Chip on the shoulder, guys.
Work your butt off. That's what you need in a wide receiver. All the wide receivers, they either think they're the best or they're getting screwed in some way. No one thinks of right, and those are the ones that usually have the best results because they do want to show everybody that they're the best player out there. He had a senior season where he had 13 receiving touchdowns, which is the single season record for Cincinnati. That's about a touchdown a game for wide receivers. Pretty stinking good. What do you guys think of Cyrus Allen?
So when you look at this guy, what you notice is he came from Texas A&M. So he came to Cincinnati from there. Now what I will highlight is he had one touchdown for Texas A&M.
True.
So maybe going to a friendlier conference.
Yep. Doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt.
But at the end of the day, you still have to produce. And the other thing that stands out to me is one drop. I like that low number. So I think as far as you going from there, he's a 4.49 guy. That is good enough. 5'11", 180. So he's not a 6'4" end zone kind of guy. But I think he's just another one to add to the pile, just in case legal trouble comes upon the Chiefs wide receiver.
Right.
Now I don't see that happening. I mean, that's just outlandish to even.
Right. I mean, not that we would have any of that, but
no. And just in case, it's nice to have a few extra bodies back there to compete. So I think it's gonna be a pretty nice piece. And like you said, having a chip on the shoulder, those dudes always seem to do a little bit better. And even if they fail trying hard.
Yep, that's right. Absolutely.
So, won't be for lack of effort.
I haven't seen him play yet, but I've seen some reports from the rookie camp and all that kind of stuff that he's already made a couple of highlight catches. Some
I like to hear that.
Deep balls down the field where he's toe tapped and gotten both feet down and all that kind of stuff. So he seems legit. Seems like he'll find a way to contribute. He doesn't have to start. Probably won't start.
That's right. He's going to be a slot guy. He's kind of. I think they're playing him. In college he did a lot in the middle of the field, which is nice.
Yep.
And I think he is. The nice thing about being on the Chiefs is, if you're a pretty good receiver, Patrick Mahomes makes you look really good. So he's gonna put you in spots to win. He's gonna if you can figure Patrick out and get on the same page as him, you're gonna do well. And I hope this guy works his way into doing that. The last guy drafted, some people thought was a little bit of a strange one, given the above mentioned Patrick Mahomes, 7th round, number 245 overall. Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback from LSU. So this guy came into college highly, highly recruited. He was like a 5-star. Everybody wanted him. Never quite fulfilled his potential in college. Wasn't bad,
Wasn't
just
bad.
wasn't phenomenal. And so for him to drop the 7th round, I think they saw a diamond in the rough. He's going to be a third string guy for them because they got Justin Fields, who at least will start as the backup. And I think the hope is that maybe Nussmeier can work into that. But what do you guys think about Nussmeier at this selection in the 7th round?
So I think for Nussmeier, he would have his 2024 season was really good.
Yeah.
They probably would have gotten drafted a little higher. So he had over 4,000 yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 picks. And I remember hearing all about him because coming into last season, there was a lot of talk about him, like really leading LSU. And just kind of flopped, man. So he's a gunslinger in the whole traditional sense of that word. And the problem is, like, he would throw himself into trouble sometimes. Like, sometimes you don't need to try that throw on 2nd down. I mean, we're not at the end of the game. What are you trying to
Brett Favre-esque sometimes.
Yes.
Right?
And from those reasons, I think he's a project. But guess what? We can take on a project. Who cares?
That's
he's
right.
never going to start for us, barring injury. And so
that's
it's
right.
one of those, and he's 3rd string anyway, because we have Justin Fields to be the guy behind Pat Mahomes this year. So it's just kind of a spot to save some money. That 7th round pick. He's got some upside, got some talent. Let's see what we can do. I mean, maybe he turned into something we can trade later.
Yeah.
Or hell,
100%.
maybe 6th round for 5 years, and we go from there. I mean, 5 years is a long time in the NFL. We can see what can happen.
Right.
I view it. I think that's probably the most likely scenario is that he works himself into a spot where he can go somewhere else and be a backup or even maybe contend for a starting spot down the road somewhere.
Yeah, there's certainly some teams that wouldn't be that hard to compete for a starting.
No,
guy.
absolutely.
Or like you're saying, if he 2 or 3 years down the road is like a reasonable quarterback, he could be the backup and save a ton of money versus bringing in a veteran guy that's going to get $8 or $10 million a year to never take a snap.
Totally.
Yeah. And he's a competitor. I mean, the thing is, when you watch him play at LSU, this dude competes. It's not. He definitely isn't an issue like, I just don't think he cares. Oh, he cares.
He cares for sure.
Yeah, I like the pick. I think it's a good fit. And I said, I mean, for a 7th round pick, taking a shot at a quarterback to build and develop, why not?
If you're happy with your O-line, and like, I think that's part of the reason they didn't draft offense early is like, my team's on the field, coach.
Right.
Like,
totally.
They're happy with the personnel that they ended the season with. Not happy with the result, obviously, but capitalized on having the early draft picks this year. I think they're as set up as anybody to go make another.
I agree.
Run into the Super Bowl.
I was overall pretty pleased with the draft. Also, if you're Nussmeier, you can't be too sad about getting Andy Reid as your coach to develop you because if anybody's going to develop you, you got a really good shot. It's Andy Reid. So overall, pretty exciting draft for the Chiefs. We'll be talking more about the Chiefs and have folks on to talk about the Chiefs, guests, fans, everybody as we get closer to the season this summer.
I have one quick highlight. I'll keep it very brief.
Yeah.
Undrafted free agent.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Caldwell.
Yes.
Wide receiver from Cincinnati. Another wide receiver from Cincinnati.
And very exciting. This kid I like.
6'5", 216.
Right.
He is a monster. And he also ran a 4.31 as a 6'5" dude.
This was one that I saw people were surprised he didn't get drafted.
Yeah.
He's just got signed.
Right.
Yeah. So the Chiefs picking him up. He's another, I think he's probably not got great hands is probably the knock on him.
Right.
But when you're that fast and you're that big, you deserve a flyer.
That's right.
So
absolutely.
He's another one.
Jet Incorporated.
Yeah.
Right.
He's also one
Darius Hayward Bay.
made a couple of headlines this spring already on some long plays down the field. The dude flies, obviously.
That's
4.31. So
4.31, 6'5". Man, feels like you could just throw it into his face mask, maybe.
Yeah, we call that guy DK Metcalf.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the comps. Is like he's a raw form of DK Metcalf and
catching in his abs.
All right, do that. Let's pivot to baseball real quick. We're just going to do about 5 minutes on the Royals. Holy cow! How a week changes baseball, man. Everything sucks for the Royals. I think they were sitting at 12-19.
Doom and
Last
gloom.
time we recorded, they were dead last in the division, dead last in the AL, and they've done nothing but rattle off 5 straight wins, of course.
Now they're next to last in the AL Central.
Now they're next to last.
They're 10-3 in their last 13 games, so they're
10-3.
Overcome their terrible slide there.
Turning it on. They're only a half game out of first because basically everyone is in first and last in the AL Central.
It is a full-blown pig race.
I mean, 3 teams tied for first, 1 game under, I think, and then the Royals 2 games under, and the Twins 3 games under, I think. So it's like holy cow, it's the exact opposite as we talked about as the NL Central, where everyone is really, really good.
Yeah, the last team in the NL Central is Milwaukee, the defending champs. They're 18-16, dead last. I mean,
how would you like that?
No other division is even remotely close to that. So NL Central is above and beyond. As we talked 2 weeks ago, it is still the same.
Yep, it is. So, it's exactly the same.
How are they doing this?
So the weird thing is, turns out when you hit and score more runs, you win more games.
What?
I know. There's a weird
what kind of voodoo magic are you talking about?
I was actually doing a graph the other day, and it was like wins and runs. Like it's this weird I think it's called a correlation in math.
So when you score more than your opponents,
right?
At the end of the 9th inning, if you have more, you win.
It's super weird. And the weird thing is, we had talked about the starting pitching being phenomenal, and it's continued to be really good. The bats have woken up. All of a sudden, Bobby Witt's got a few home runs. Pasquatch has a few home runs. Salvi's got a few home runs. Heck, I mean, you've even got some guys hitting home runs. Isaac Collins, I think, get a home run tonight. So, it's kind of contagious. Oh, and Jack stinking destroyed a ball last night. They tried to throw a fastball past him, and it was like he was just sitting on that thing, hit it like 440 to right field. So, I mean, it's fun to watch this team when they're clicking because they do have a lot of talent. The thing of it is at the beginning of the season, they were all swinging and missing a lot. There was a lot of strikeouts. It was ugly to watch. Seems like they've all shortened up the swing a little bit, try to be more contact. And you know what? What's funny, I heard Rexy the Wonder Dog saying this the other day. You don't have to swing hard to hit a home run. You just have to try to swing, make good contact. And
hit the barrel.
They told a story on the broadcast the other night that George Brett used to go up to the rookies and say, hey, which of you guys hit the most home runs in minor leagues last year? And one of them would be like, oh, I hit 25 or whatever. And he was like, let me give you a key to hitting in the major leagues. Don't try to hit the ball far. Try to hit the ball hard. And that translates to home runs. And I think that is a challenge that I think if you watch the Royals approach at the beginning of the season, they were trying to hit the ball far. It was like, I want to hit the crap out of this ball. Let me see how hard I can hit this ball.
Fences are moved in. This is easy.
Right. Totally. And the bullpen's done a lot better. All of a sudden, the guys coming out of the bullpen aren't throwing kerosene on everything, which is what they were doing. Lights out. Lucas has been lights out.
10th save today, I think.
Yeah, you're right. I think it was his 10th save. That's, and he was a train wreck to start the year. So, and Estevez actually just started a AAA stint. So, we'll see how that does. But overall, this feels like a lot more fun watching baseball for the last week.
Yeah. We commented a couple weeks ago, I did, that they just seem kind of snake bit, right?
Yeah.
The tides have turned. They've kind of regressed to the mean, which is
so true.
They're getting a few lucky breaks now and then. They won. I think last week we talked about them winning on a wild pitch.
Yep.
And they have a ball that Jack smoked last night that squirted through all the way to the wall.
Yep, that's right.
So they've had a few breaks finally go their way, and you only need one of those a game to potentially win you the game. So
you gotta have some of that, and you're right. The breaks were not going their way at all, and they are going their way now. So it all evens out over the course of 162 games. I would like to point out too that I believe it was yesterday, Vinny Pasquantino stolen base. That's right. The Pasquatch had a stolen base. And in honor, the Pasquatch at Coffin Stadium actually came out and walked back and forth. Not because he got a hit, but because he stole a base. And, like, that is...
So there's still only one viable hitter in this Kansas City lineup, though, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
So Michael Garcia's kind of fallen off. So as much as everybody else came up,
yeah,
he's
he has
gone
fallen
from 300 to 256.
Yeah, he's been in a slump for sure.
Not very long, but Bobby Witt, right there, man. 287, 792 OPS.
Always.
His 10th double today. So it ain't Bobby Witt's
Super
problem.
consistent. I mean, it's just amazing how consistent the dude
He's
is
so
for
awesome.
as young
He still
as he
plays
is.
that elite defense. So that's the problem right now is that we still only have one consistent bat. We need them all to get hot and just be – you can't just have 1 out of 9, man. You need a full lineup. Keep it up.
Right.
But like I said, they've still gone 10 out of 13. Correct.
Would anyone like to venture a guess as to who is leading the Royals in triples right now?
In triples?
Yes.
I mean, normally it's Bobby Witt's a very easy answer, but it's probably not him because you wouldn't throw this out
I
that
wouldn't
way.
have asked if it was Bobby Witt.
Right. It's got to be like Salvi or...
It's definitely not Salvi.
Yeah, it can't be Salvi. I've never seen... It's got Pasquatch. Is this a Pasquatch?
It's Pascal.
Yes!
Leading the team with 2 triples.
2 triples for Vinny.
Followed by Jack with 1.
Wow.
And then Garcia and Witt each have 1.
Vinny Pasquantino, 2 triples and a stolen base. Don't call him slow anymore.
Right.
Oh, my God, he's speed demon.
I mean, he's going to start bunting for his singles now. You watch.
Let's not get carried away, Chip. Let's not get carried away.
I will say, I watched enough
for that one.
I will say I've watched enough Royals games to notice that the slowest player on the team, and it's not even close now, like Salvi, I love you to high heaven, and he hits the crap out of the ball. I think he's leading the team in home runs, and he's starting to hit the ball a lot better. But he hit a ground ball to short the other night. The shortstop fumbled it, danced around it for a minute, picked it up, crow hopped, and threw him out by like 3 steps. I was like, dear God! And it wasn't because he was slacking either. Like, he hustled out of the box. He's just that slow. Like, he is. I mean, it's not a fast man.
Did anyone see the Salvi slide into home? That
that was epic.
Got called out, and he quickly challenged, and nope, he slid in there. He avoided the tag.
That was a great slide, was it not?
Fantastic.
Salvi knows
slide.
when he's safe and when a
He
strike's a
does.
strike and a ball is a ball. I love Salvi.
Oh,
he's a dude that knows. He's right. Has he been wrong yet on the ABS?
His ABS challenges are phenomenal. Like
I think he did miss one.
He did miss one.
All I know is so automatic.
He's batting 1,000 on ABS challenges for weeks.
And you know that the umpires just hate it when he's like, because they're like,
oh
crap, I missed it.
Biscuits and gravy. This isn't good.
I think I might be wrong, Dex. I'm not sure if it was him or Carter Jensen, but one of them challenged him and missed by like 1/10 of an inch or something. Like it was very close, but
yeah.
I think one of them has missed one.
Speaking of Carter Jensen, I wanted to touch on this just because I like him a lot. I still think he has a crap load of talent, and he has struggle bust his way down to 222. But the last few games, he is 1 for 10 with 6 strikeouts. He's in a funk. I mean, with today, his Cinco de Mayo day being 0 for 4 with 4 Ks. That's hard to do. It's hard to
Gold sombrero on Cinco de Mayo.
Like, lay down a bunt that 4th at bat and just see what happens.
Well, I did see him. You know how batters go through it. I saw him today. He took a strike 3, and it was like such a blatant strike. Like he just took it and walked. Like he was just like. When you're so messed up that you're like, I just can't even swing when I know it's a perfect strike. It's just you get in one of those ruts.
Whatever the thing that gets him out of it is. So it's funny is my son when he's struggling, he goes and plays MLB The Show, and gets back on time. I'm like,
yes,
what?
Get back on time, baby.
Like, I saw all these pitches and I just felt great again. Next day, boom, 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 starts ripping the ball again.
Yeah.
Like, well. Why don't you just always play MLB The Show then?
Right. Do that all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Carter needs, a little MLB The Show.
Or he needs to get a good night's rest and maybe
whatever it is that takes.
Come in a little late tomorrow, Carter. We'll see you when you get here.
That's right.
All right. We're going to end with a little fun tonight. We're going to do 5. We're going to do a 5 random game. Okay, so here's the way we're going to do. Here's the Cinco de Mayo. So we're going to do 5.
Which my wife just keeps reiterating. It's just May 5th. That's all it means. It's May 5th. I'm like, true story.
Yes.
It's just May 5th.
But it is Cinco de Mayo. So here's the way it's going to work. I'm going to name 5 starting pitchers at random. You're not going to know who the next starting pitcher is. So you're going to rank them. Based on who I give you. Got it? Okay. Right. So you're not going to know. Who knows? They're all starting pitchers, current starting pitchers. So I'm not going to throw Cy Young at you or Roger Clemens or anything like that. Okay. All right. Number 1, you guys tell me where you're going to rank them in your 5. Ready? First one is George Kirby. George Kirby, where do you rank him? 1 through 5. Dex.
I will put him in the 4 hole. I mean, you're going to give me some hopefully better ones than that, but George Kirby is among the best. So
George Kirby's not bad. So you got him in your 4th. Who's your 4th starter?
I'll say 4.
Okay, you guys both have him in the 4th star. All right, there better be a damn good list here. That's all I'm going to say. Okay.
Well, that's what we're banking on.
All right. The next name I'm going to throw you is Nathan Eovaldi.
God, you know what's funny is I keep wanting to think he's not that good, but he's just unbelievably dominant. But he's certainly not 1. He's probably not 2 either. I'm going to put him at 3.
You have him at 3? Okay.
I'm going to go with 2.
Okay. Nathan Eovaldi at 2.
Yeah.
All right. The next name on the list, Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler.
He is really good, but for me, I'm going to put him at 5.
Prue?
Yeah, I'm thinking who's still probably out there on your list, and
we don't know the list, so we're
going to go with 5
on this.
5. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Dex on that thinking.
So what do you got left, Dex? You've got 1 and 3.
1 and 2.
1 and 2. And Prue, you have
1 and 3.
Okay, 1 and 3. All right. The next pitcher is Jesus Luzardo.
Oh shit, he's number 6. I mean, you can't do that.
Jesus Luzardo. Where do you put? Hey, you got to put him 1 or 2, Dex. Where do you put him?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. That's what you got left. 1 or 2.
That's dumb. This game sucks.
So now you got Jesus Luzardo as your 2 starter?
I'm putting him at 2 then.
That was a poor choice, Dex. You got to understand.
Guggenheimer Smith. You're supposed to give me Skeens or something.
I guess I'll use my 3 slot finally.
Prue, you got him in your 3 slot. And actually, you guys did pretty well because the first slot, I think you're going to be pretty happy. Tarek Skubal. Skubal is who you both have as your 1 slot.
Was this Tarek Skubal last week when he was pitching?
I know. Or now that the Chisholm Hex is in effect.
I put the Hex on him, and it's his own fault. He skipped out of the World Baseball Classic, and this is what happens.
He won the whole thing if he would have started.
All of you non-Patriots, pay attention. If you don't play in the World Baseball Classic, this is what happens to you. Understand the consequences of your decisions. Tarek, understand.
So Scooby-Doo, we got him in the 1 slot.
Scooby-Doo, so you got him in the 1 slot. So Dex has Tarek as his 1. Jesus Luzardo as his 2.
He can be good when he wants to be.
Nathan Eovaldi as his 3. George Kirby as his 4. And Zach Wheeler as his 5. Pruitt has Tarek Skubal as his 1. Nathan Eovaldi as his 2. Jesus Luzardo as his 3. George Kirby is his 4, and Zach Wheeler is his 5.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Not bad. Luzardo came up as a very top-ranked prospect.
He's a very high-ranked prospect. Who knows? He may have a breakout season.
He went to the Marlins, and then he went to Philly, and he's actually been pretty good, except this year, not off to a very good start.
No, he's not. He does not have the stats you're looking for in the 2 spot.
Now that we're done with our rankings, how did you how did you develop your list?
I went to AI and I said, give me a list of 5 random starting pitchers in the Major League Baseball.
Man. All right, so what's funny is the only thing I would probably change, I would probably only swap Kirby with Luzardo because I think I would like Skubal it'd be pretty close between Evaldi and Kirby too. So I don't even know which one I'd have in the 2-3. And then Luzardo, I probably may have 4 ahead of Wheeler. Sweet. Because he hasn't really been doing that well either. If you look at Philadelphia.
No, he hasn't had a good season, for sure.
Make sure Philly is where I still think they are.
No, they're bad.
They've rallied back, I guess. They've won 8 of the last 10. But when you say 8 of the last 10, they're 16-20.
Right.
9 games behind Atlanta. They are in second place in the East, which tells you how far
Atlanta is just from absolutely annihilating everybody right now.
Atlanta is first in every category right now.
Yeah, they're putting the division away. And if again, I don't know if they'll slow down. This is what I thought the team would look like last year, and I looked like the fool last year calling Atlanta to win. This year I called them again because that is crap, man. There's too much talent on this team. But Ozzie Albies on a 14-game hitting streak. The pitching staff, awesome. Hitting's awesome.
It's going to be really interesting to see if they continue to play this good. They may actually give the Dodgers a run for their money in the National League. That could be a really fun LCS.
Again, last year I had Atlanta winning the whole damn thing. So
that's right.
It's the same team, really. So that's what's kind of funny. And then
they're
if we
just all vertical right now.
That's right.
Yeah, quick tour around. So the division leaders, we still have the Dodgers out in the West, but they're not running away from San Diego. Only a game and a half back. The Central, like we said, is stacked. I mean, as opposed to the pig race of the AL Central, which just sucks. This is the pig race of greatness. Like every team's over 500. 5 teams over 500. It's unbelievable. And then we said Atlanta's running away with the NL East. My particular pick to be interesting, I didn't say they'd win the AL West because we all had Seattle, but the Athletics, they're in first place in the AL West right now. Seattle's second, so they have come back. They started hitting the ball. Funny what happens when Josh Naylor and Julio Rodriguez all decide to play baseball. They start doing better because the pitching couldn't do everything. AL East, you got the Yankees still doing awesome. I think the surprise, at least it's a surprise to me, Tampa Bay is right on their heels, a game and a half back. And then it's a very long ways back to third. So we have Toronto's 9 games back, tied with Baltimore. Yeah. And Boston's still in the cellar, which I think that's surprising. Then AL Central, like we said, it's literally just a crapshoot. Everybody's just kind of there, Pruitt. What do you think? So of the teams, of these divisions, are there any teams you think, I understand you, Dex, we're in the first week of May, I do not believe Team X will be there at the end. So do you, like the Cubs or the Cardinals, they're the top 2 teams in the Central. Do you think Atlanta will slip? Do you think Athletics are going to end up collapsing? Like, what do you think is going to change in May? Let's just go over the next month. What do you think is going to happen?
Over the next month, I fully expect the Braves to cool off a bit. I mean, nobody has sustained a 700 winning percentage for a whole season, so they'll cool off some. I don't see any team catching them right now. Nobody else is even playing 500 ball. So they pretty much wrapped that up. It's going to be, a long road for anybody to overcome that and drop the Braves out of first. I still think the Mets are horribly underperforming. So they hopefully will, at least make a shot at second place in that division.
Yeah.
Cardinals, we still think are probably playing ahead of their skis.
They're ahead of their skis a little bit. And on that note, so for the Cardinals, Jordan Walker keeps doing it. He keeps hitting. Nolan Gorman is playing well. JJ Weatherholt is – so his average isn't great, but he's walked more than he's struck out, and his on-base is awesome. So the thing is, JJ Weatherholt, he's playing great defense. I think he's playing better defense than people think at second base. And between Mason Wynn, who – could probably win the Platinum Glove this year, and he's already kind of running away with the Gold Glove again at shortstop.
Yeah.
Just look at highlights. Type in Mason Wynn highlights St. Louis. Watch this kid play shortstop. Mason Wynn is awesome. He's really a lot of fun to watch. So the state of Missouri has the 2 best shortstops in the game of baseball. Between Bobby Witt and Mason Wynn, one of those guys is going to win the Platinum Glove. They are fun to watch. The play Mason Wynn made the other night, running back on a ball, people don't make that play, and that is a underrated play. Like, that is terribly difficult. So hard. People sprinting in, and he's running to Bermuda Triangle. It's just that he catches everything in the Bermuda Triangle, so he's just unbelievable. I think that's a fun one to look at as well.
Looking elsewhere, I mean, Padres, I think, can hang right there. I like their team. They're off to a great start. Dodgers might pull away, but I don't see the Padres going anywhere. Like, I think they'll keep it somewhat close.
I agree.
And then, the Central is a big crapshoot. Lots of dice thrown there to see who's going to maybe come out on top. And
I don't necessarily believe the Cubs will run away. I mean, I do think they're a great team. And I was being kind of contrarian when I picked Pittsburgh. I still think Pittsburgh's going to be there at the end. I really do. I like Pittsburgh's lineup. I like their pitching. When you have Paul Skeens, you start off, you should win 20 of those games just by default. And they just need to win 40 more by some other folks in your starting lineup and then get a couple lucky breaks to win the rest with your relievers and everything else. But I think St. Louis is far and away the one that is surprising the most.
Yes.
And Milwaukee's not even playing bad. They're 2 games over 500, and you're in last place first week of May. I think that's –
so that whole division is going to cool off a little bit.
Yeah, at some point, though, there's got to be a record of all the teams in a division being over 500. I don't know. Maybe they're already at it. I haven't actually looked it up. I just don't remember ever seeing it. There's always a bottom dweller in a division.
There will be eventually.
Like this.
Yeah, this is pretty late in the season to not have anybody under 500 in one division.
And none of them seem to be like they would be. They all seem to be above 500 team. Who knows? Maybe they can actually keep it up. I think when they start playing each other, something's got to give.
Exactly.
So,
too many head-to-head games for that to sustain itself for the whole season. But
exactly.
It's fun for now.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything else we want to touch on tonight?
No, I think that's going to wrap it up. So I think we got our football fix in, at least for a Chiefs fan. So apologize if you want to hear about everybody, but that's what last week was for. So go back and tune in to episode 100 last week for all football draft-related stuff. That's what we hit on last week. But this week, hopefully you enjoyed some Chiefs and Royals for our Kansas City native folks out there. And for the trivia, Chisholm kind of got us. Screw you, AI. I did not expect Luzardo to be on this list.
No.
It happens. That's why you got to trust but verify. You got to have a human in the loop with AI, baby. You got to have a human in the loop. I had a great time. Hopefully you learned a little bit as well. Next week, we'll be back with another great episode. So in the meantime, all we want you to do, stay shrewd.
Stay shrewd.